Good afternoon, students, families, friends, faculty, trustees, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 54th Annual Ranney Upper School Graduation Ceremony. It is my pleasure to introduce Rylan Foy, who will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the singing of our national anthem by the Ranney Upper School Chorus. We ask that you please remain standing throughout.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to welcome Mrs. Laura Goodrow, advisor of the class of 2018, to the podium for her opening reflection.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us bow our heads in reflection as we come together to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2018. Let us reflect upon the love and support of family, friends, and our Ranney community that have led to this special occasion. Class, remember to treasure all the friends you have made and the teachers who have helped you learn and overcome the challenges you faced along the way. Remember to thank your families for all they have provided as you seek your fondest dreams. We ask for blessings upon these graduates. Guide them on their journeys as lifelong learners and future leaders. May these graduates be blessed with the strength to make difficult decisions that will be fruitful for themselves as well as for those around them. May they embrace the learning that comes from making mistakes, and may they continue to grow as thoughtful, kind, and compassionate citizens of the world. As you look to the past with gratitude and to the future with hope, may each of you strive forward with your best potential, wisdom, courage, and strength. It has been an honor for all of us who have shared in your journey thus far, and we wish you only the best in all your future endeavors. In the words of American philosopher Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. Thank you.
Lifer Paul Jensen has attained the highest levels of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship during his time in the Ranney school community. It has been a parade of A's for Paul in the most demanding classes available since 9th grade, including 9 AP and 12 honors classes. Given his demanding curriculum and full plate of extracurricular pursuits, Paul does not let time slip by. He even manages to go to bed at a decent hour every night, not the norm in a school where so many students are studying and working on school-related assignments and projects late into the night. I would call him efficient, but that would almost make him seem like he gets things done adequately and moves on to the next items. If Paul is performing a task, you could bet that he is accomplishing his objectives at an extremely high level with the greatest attention to detail. Students look to Paul to provide guidance, friendship, and motivation in the classroom, while teachers look to him to uncover the pulse of classroom comprehension. His teachers have relished in his extraordinary ability to blend humor with brilliant thought. Paul is not interested in other students' grades and does not brag about his own. His greatest competitor is himself. A classically trained pianist, percussionist, and key member of the upper school orchestra, Paul is one of those inquisitive, adaptable, very intelligent students who create music the same way they breathe. On more than one occasion, Paul has conducted the orchestra in Dr. Sobieski's absence and has led several meaningful rehearsals. I could assure you that music will always remain a constant in Paul's life as he looks to strike a beautiful balance between work and life. From an athletic standpoint, Paul has also demonstrated his leadership and teamwork abilities in his commitment to soccer, basketball, and the tennis teams. He has served as a mentor to younger players and as a constant source of integrity and good sportsmanship. We wish Paul the best as he heads to the University of Notre Dame's Mendoza College of Business. We are certain that he will continue to inspire others to rise to the occasion by demonstrating respect, kindness, and seeking the opportunity to be true to themselves. Please join me in welcoming the class of 2018's salutatorian, Mr. Paul Jensen.
Thank you, Mr. Matarasso. Good afternoon, Dr. Griffith, administration, faculty, staff, family, students, class of 2018, and other members of the Ranney community present this fine day. As a salutatorian, I'd like to offer my salutations and warmest welcome to the beautiful Ocean First Bank Center of Monmouth University, as we are gathered here today to celebrate the class of 2018's accomplishments and to bid it farewell as it departs for college and beyond. The esteemed Mr. Matarasso tasked me with the opportunity to explore the former as I stand before you on the podium. Let's begin. When I was in kindergarten, my parents enrolled me in Ranney School, and I did not know what to expect, especially since I was too young to possess any sort of opinion about anything. I am forever grateful to them for doing so. For these past 13 years as a student of Ranney School have been truly extraordinary. I recall two stories from my lower school days that I wish to recount to you today. Not like campfire tales, but stories as in actual books we used to read during story time in class. Ah, the good old days. The first story takes us back to the segregated South more than a half century ago. The main character, a little white boy, wants to drink from the colored water fountain because he is naive of its true meaning. He instead thinks some rainbow-esque liquid would emerge from it and wants very badly to taste it. In other words, he looks beyond differences and takes no notice of them when making decisions. The second story imagines a land where every citizen is some sort of shape. A triangle is unhappy because it has too few sides. It proceeds to visit some sort of shape changer dude many times until it has so many sides it cannot even balance. It finally realizes in the end that it was happy all along as a triangle and that it was perfect just the way it is. I share these two stories with you because they represent how the class of 2018, especially those who heard these stories, operates. Members of this distinguished class are respectful to everyone and free to be themselves because we know that every child is known and valued. I don't often brag because humility is the foundation of all virtues. Sorry, I had to sneak a quote in there. But our class has been referred to as the good class or the best class by several people of importance within the Ranney community. Class of 2018, you've earned these labels and you should be proud of them. For those who remember those two stories from long ago may also recall being a student in the Ranney Middle School. In the intermediate levels of education, we as a class again were exposed to outstanding lessons from teachers. I again have two stories to share, but this time they are oral instead of pictorial. Those in the class of 2018 who attended Ranney at the time had Mr. Ling for 7th grade history. I still remember vividly why no enemy would ever cross the Sahara Desert to attack Egypt from the west. Mr. Ling, in his quintessential goofy manner, said, "Because it's hot, yo." This seemingly mundane piece of historical information actually has far-reaching effects because this classic one-liner represents how the class of 2018 avoids vacuous and troublesome actions. By not metaphorically crossing the Sahara Desert, you guys in middle school eschewed receiving CSVs as if they would ruin your life. Ranney middle schoolers also had to take drama class with Mr. Doyle all 3 years. 1 year, he focused on teaching us how to write speeches of various types. If there was one aspect of his class that I took away, it's that speakers must present their speeches, not read them. That is what I am trying to do right now, actually, because reading a speech verbatim can get very monotonous. The class of 2018 does not simply clock in and clock out of school. Minimum effort is not in its vocabulary. Students in this class are dedicated to their studies and are interested in the subject material beyond achieving a certain grade point average for college. Don't worry, I didn't forget those who came only for Ranney Upper School. That would be criminal to do so. There are 84 seniors in this room today who all deserve recognition for what they have accomplished for this school. If I leave anyone out, I apologize in advance, for my memory is not what it used to be. What I do remember is that we have artists of all kinds, athletes, scholars, leaders, and volunteers within this class. From designing to drawing, to performing to entrepreneurship, these artists have left an amazing impact on much more than the Ranney community. Similarly, our athletes have led their respective teams with dignity and Panther pride, winning multiple awards, recognitions, and big games that make Ranney School shine in the local and state communities. Furthermore, we have over 24 clubs and activities, over a half-dozen honor societies, and one wonderful student council filled with members of the class of 2018 who are completely dedicated to their respective crafts and responsibilities. Finally, I must honor our volunteers who always find time for civic engagement, not because it looks good on college applications, but because it feels good to assist others in need. The Color Run, Charlotte Stands for a Chance, and Mental Health Awareness Month are 3 examples of the incredible efforts students in this incredible class have undertaken for the betterment of the less fortunate. Class of 2018, I now speak directly to you. Be proud of your achievements, but show humility when discussing them. Lead effectively, but considerately. Create spectacularly, but plausibly. contribute definitively but astutely. Most of all, thank those along the way who aid you on your journey of life fulfillment. Congratulations, and thank you all for your audience.
Thank you, Paul. Nice job. Mr. Doyle would be very proud of you. So, what a beautiful day it is today, and welcome to the commencement of the Ranney School class of 2018. Again, I extend our welcome to trustees, to faculty and staff, to the parents, and especially to all of those who come to honor this amazing class. I want to extend a personal note of welcome and gratitude to someone who's sat on the stage with me for the past 4 years. Dr. Brian Torpy has been the chair of our board for the past 4 years, and he's been on the board for many more. He'll be retiring from the board this year and moving to an emeritus role as Chris Fitzmaurice succeeds him as chair. Brian has been devoted to Ranney, and though we understand his desire to graduate with Jack, the last of his 4 at Ranney, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize all that he has done for the school. Please help me in recognizing Brian Torpy. As I thought of words to celebrate the class of 2018 and a farewell to them, I returned to a theme from a few years ago in the desire to keep it light and also to personalize this for this class. In thinking about these seniors, I've recurred to the theme and the writings of a very profound writer, Theodore Seuss Geisel, or Dr. Seuss. I've always felt an affinity with a good doctor, perhaps because I spent some time at Oxford right across from the hallway where he lived, and I passed the plaque about 100 times or more. As I was living there, I often thought of him and of the ways in which he endured his Shakespearean grammar lectures by doodling and writing illustrations. And those doodles and illustrations became the foundation of his career as he returned to the States and took up his writing career as a children's writer. Seuss left Oxford to pursue a dream at a time when children's books sorely lacked imagination and creativity. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from someone like Dr. Seuss, from his biography and his words. Indeed, Seuss is really a model of innovation. His work was rejected by 27 publishers before it was finally published. And he was 33 by the time he found any success. Dr. Seuss himself gave a couple of commencement speeches, including one at Lake Forest College in Chicago. He created a very tongue-in-cheek poem for the occasion. To understand the poem, it's helpful for the seniors to know what a popover is, a baked good that is very light and airy. Hear the entire poem. It's very short. My uncle ordered popovers from the restaurant's bill of fare, and when they were served, he regarded them with a penetrating stare. Then he spoke great words of wisdom as he sat there on his chair. To eat these things, said my uncle, you must exercise great care. You may swallow down what's solid, but you must spit out the air. And as you partake of this world's bill of fare, that's darn good advice to follow. Do a lot of spitting out of hot air, and be careful what you swallow. That is indeed a warning for all of those who give graduation advice at this time of the year. Again, though I pondered a lot of different kinds of adages and thoughts for this class, so I thought it'd be appropriate to acknowledge their childish, in many ways, passion. Many of you undoubtedly will receive as graduates a copy of Oh, the Places You'll Go, which rises through the bestseller lists at every time this year. Though you'll hear a lot of sage advice and you'll hear praise today for your scholarship and appropriately your many other talents, I'd like to focus on your Seussian qualities, your quirkiness, your humor, your absurdity, your sense of fun, your passion, and your compassion. All of these lighthearted qualities are embraced by the anthropomorphic creatures who inhabit the works of Dr. Seuss. Seuss, who gave valuable graduation advice like this: "If you never did, you should. These things are fun, and fun is good." And this is certainly a class that has given us a lot of fun over the last 4 years and longer. But Seuss gave us serious advice as well. He spoke to children and to young adults as potential activists in the world and knew that people had an influence on the course of history. And so he wrote, "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not." Another facet of Seuss's writing I think resonates for us at Ranney is the notion of respecting young people and thinking of them and taking them seriously. As Seuss famously said, "A person's a person, no matter how small." And these graduates, like all children and all young adults, want a lot of the same things we all do: to be entertained, to be delighted, to be challenged, to be fulfilled, to be happy, to be safe. Dr. Seuss was above all an educator. He gave us artful inanity that was steeped in a great deal of wisdom. And so, with profound apologies to Theodore Seuss Geisel, I've written an occasional poem for the class of 2018. How did it get so late so soon? It's night before it's afternoon. December is here before it's June. My goodness, how the time has flown. Is your commencement here so soon? You've performed in the Commons or Panther Hall, golfed and shot hoops, scored clinched soccer goals. You played baseball and tennis and kept us enthralled. You've staged Kismet and Smile, played Bruce and won races, cheered for the Panthers and painted your faces. You've cavorted at prom. You have danced, done ballet. You have painted, done service, hurrahed and hoorayed. You've impressed all your teachers, and you've made time for fun. You completed your capstones. Your APs are all done. You've lounged in Adirondack chairs and conversed in the sun. You came to our campus from hither and yon, Nigeria, Colts Neck, Beijing, and Avon. Some with a small bag and some with a trunk, some minimalists, others drowning in junk. You wowed them at the Bluebird, as you no doubt know. You produced Pride and Prejudice and many a show. You've thrown pots and ridden. You've talents still hidden. You are techies and sound freaks, robotics and calc geeks, pianists, hunters, and cello players, history scholars, and hip-hop purveyors. You are smart. You are funny. You have bled white and blue. Today you are you. It is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. We praise scholar athletes and the great feats they've done. We celebrate our thespians who've helped us to have fun. We stop to praise the introverts, the extroverts, the funny. We give a nod to pragmatists who've gone out to make the money, the philanthropists, the novelists, the lifers and latecomers, the swimmers, the songwriters, and the go out and have funners. Though your parents have fought you and loved you and taught you and tried hard at times not to strangle or throttle you, they are proud you've been fated and so celebrated. As you graduate today, your friends are elated, your heads crammed with facts, but your zest unabated. You've been irrepressible, we think you know who, and somewhat unguessable in things that you do. I taught some of you in travel lit, read Gothic with its gory bits, while others I've admiringly observed in sports and plays and written word. Your voices are loud, standing out in the crowd. Though you've had your detractors, you would not be cowed. You've made your mistakes, but none too egregious. Your antics have delighted, surprised, and pleased us. You've done all these things, but there's much more to do. And where you will travel, we have scarcely a clue. You'll go off to Barnard, Penn State, or BC. You'll be landing at Yale or your cheer for UT. You will wow them at Duke, UGA and Northeastern, Baylor and Fordham and Bentley and Elon. To DePaul or to Boulder or Monmouth you'll go. To Hopkins, Rutgers, Emory in Georgia, Oberlin in Ohio, Fairfield and Cornell, places your counselors had told you fit well. Tulane and Richmond, where we know you'll do swell, Columbia, Marist, and Lafayette II to Hampton, Howard, and IU. Colorado State and NYU to Delaware, GW, or SMU, you're packing for Stevens or Lansing at Queens, Notre Dame or Poe or places in between. Riverside, U of M, or Muhlenberg, Georgetown, Loyola, and Gettysburg. Massachusetts and Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech, of course, to Belmont or Nova, Hughes or Chapman, Maryland, Miami to bask in the sun. But wherever you go and whatever you do, you will do greater things than most others will do. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the ones who'll decide where you go. You've learned a lot of history, and that red and white make pink, but we hope you've learned a little more. We hope you've learned to think. So from all of your teachers, the small and the tall, the hirsute and those without much hair at all, the bearded, the peevish, the sweet and the tart, the ones with great brains and the ones with great art. From our dear Matarasso to our new Dr. M, you have won the affection of these women and men. Our wish for you all, from the depths of our hearts, is you'll stay very safe and you'll be very smart. And above all, we hope that you'll learn to love questions and not just endure until your own life ends. For education, said Yeats, and he said it so well, is a fire to be lit, not a bucket to fill. And Seuss himself said in his Seussian way that all good schools will have really one thing to say. He said schools that count at the end or the start are the ones that have trained not the brain, but the heart. So on behalf of dear old Ranney School, we can definitely say we've been blessed to have you with us, and we wish that we could stay. And to all these Ranney seniors on this most auspicious day, Vincit Omnia, conquer all. Hooray, hooray, hooray. To the class of 2018.
I would like to welcome to the podium Mr. Mark DiGiovanni to present the first award of this afternoon, the Headmaster's Cup.
In my occasional spare time, I like to watch television as a means of escape from the realities of a sometimes mind-boggling world. Recently, I've turned to an old favorite, The West Wing, a fantasy series in which politics is rooted equally in policy and a desire to do right by the American people. In one episode, a young and idealistic speechwriter and presidential advisor named Sam Seaborn tells a colleague that before he looks for any other quality in a presidential candidate, he looks for a mind at work, an uncommon intelligence and thoughtfulness befitting of the Oval Office. That phrase has bubbled up in my head repeatedly over the last few days as I thought about the recipient of this year's Headmaster's Cup. There is no doubt that this person is a phenomenal leader, having served on student council for 3 years, including as president in her senior year. She was instrumental in the smooth operation of town halls and was so used to being asked questions about events on campus that one day she mistakenly thought I was asking her permission to use the media center, not realizing I was actually on the phone. I don't think it would have shocked anyone to see her running around campus with a walkie-talkie, making sure everything was running smoothly. Add to that her outstanding academic work, including a brilliant capstone on, what else, the psychology of leadership, and it is clear that this student has it all. I don't know that this student has political aspirations herself, but if you're looking for a mind at work, look no further than the recipient of this year's Headmaster's Cup, Jackie Erler.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Mr. Andrew Sullivan, who will present the Gershom Tomlinson Humanitarian Award.
Despite the emphasis that has been placed on scholastic achievement using only numerical values, you will remember each other by the intangibles. It comes down to a few things, and one of them is simply this: were you a kind person? The recipient of this award demonstrates a particular type of kindness that is utterly selfless and remarkably sincere. Whether or not you know it, we have all learned from you. I have been humbled by your gifts, spending hours helping others, willing to give back, walking the halls with an authentic smile. At a young age, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor, yet nothing seemed to get in her way. She reminds us that there's a preciousness to life that is gained through difficult experiences, and sometimes we do not have the ability to see from that perspective. Ms. Velasquez, her college counselor, says this: she is the first to forgive, continues to love, and continues to believe in the best in others. She provides everyone the grace they deserve no matter what the circumstances. Turning a very difficult situation into a positive, she started an annual fundraiser, raising thousands of dollars for pediatric brain tumor research. She volunteers regularly for the Courtney Rose Foundation and has been named a top fundraiser. She was honored by Hackensack University Medical Center for her impact on pediatric brain tumor research. Her story is certainly extraordinary, but what is more impressive is her ability to impact others on a daily basis. She is truly an ambassador of the values we seek to instill in the students of our community. I am pleased to announce that the Gershom Tomlinson Humanitarian Award is being awarded to Charlotte Kay. Congratulations, Charlotte. You absolutely deserve it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Ms. Marie Curry to present the Female Faculty Prize.
In 1983, Professor Howard Gardner of Harvard University revolutionized the study of cognition with his theory of multiple intelligences. Instead of reducing intelligence to one single IQ number, Gardner maintained that our conception of intelligence should be broadened to include a range of distinct abilities, among them logical, linguistic, and musical ones. The young woman who is the recipient of this year's Female Faculty Prize is someone who truly possesses these multiple intelligences. Her proficiency in logic has contributed to success in classes such as AP Economics and AP Statistics. Her AP Stats teacher, Ms. Pongrak, comments that she is a student who actually enjoys working with data, determining solutions and inferring outcomes. But our Faculty Prize recipient has facility with more than numbers and graphs. Her English teachers uniformly praise her as one of the best writers they have ever taught. Dr. Martone notes that she has developed a distinct voice and writes with emotion and style. Many of her teachers remark upon her insightful, reflective nature, one that allows her to take the measure of her own strengths and weaknesses, a trait that Gardner labeled intrapersonal intelligence. Advising her in her capstone project was a pleasure, according to Mr. DiGiovanni, because she was always willing to take her critique and apply it to improve her work. And all of us could attest to her generous spirit in helping classmates, a sign of interpersonal intelligence. Her willingness to help others and to lead a group toward constructive ends showed itself in many arenas, most particularly in her collaboration with her good friend, Charlotte Kay, in raising funds for pediatric brain tumor research. The recipient of this award has naturally gravitated toward a profession that will let her utilize her multiple abilities. Anyone who has attended a Ranney coffee house has enjoyed the musical, linguistic, and interpersonal gifts that so manifest clearly in her songs. Of course, her capstone project demonstrated that even the most talented singer-songwriters only earn pennies each time their songs are streamed on the internet. Despite that, I am sure that this young woman's many and varied capabilities will lead to success, both at Belmont University and someday in the music business in Nashville. I am indeed honored to present this year's Female Faculty Prize to Sarah Killian.
It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Mrs. Kiara Shaw, who will present the Male Faculty Prize.
Last week, I asked my son what he thought of this student, and Kieran said, "He's intelligent, determined, and hardworking." Then he paused for a moment and added, "He's perfect. He's the perfect student." I concur. Academically, this student is capable of and often achieves perfection in his studies. In fact, don't get me wrong, he has had his struggles. In fact, I recall a certain AP Calc BC class that we thought would be the death of him. But he persevered and ended up proud of his performance. Mr. Piccirillo says that his intuition is supreme. He has demonstrated a thorough understanding of the advanced calculus and its relationship to the advanced physics. Did I say physics? AP Physics C is another one of those subjects that has really challenged him. And robotics. This student has several years of frustrating second place finishes. I truly thought that by the end of sophomore year that he might throw in the towel. But he surprised me. He came back junior year with a bang, winning a total of 19 awards that year, an unheard of feat, many of them for his skill in programming robots. When faced with these challenges, this student does not give up. In fact, he seems even more determined to succeed. His desire for perfection inspires his peers who come to him to form study groups or bounce questions off each other. My advisory each morning is filled with students asking him for help, and he's always open and willing to help them. I've never seen him turn anyone away. In fact, he eagerly jumps up and starts scribbling on the board with an infectious enthusiasm for the subject. Last year, after the AP Computer Science A exam, his final project was to code a game. He used two-dimensional arrays and artificial intelligence to counter player moves. At almost 1,100 lines of code, his project was twice as long as the average project. His game was intricate, elegant, and syntactically perfect. Yet even while he was working on this project, he found time to help other students in the class. This year in AP Computer Science Principles, he was one of my experts in the class. For those of you who don't know, the AP Principles exam is project-based. Students are given 12 class periods to create an app that they submit to the College Board. I'm not allowed to help students at all. In fact, I just sit there and watch. Students are allowed to get help from classmates. Every day, our awardee was not able to work on his own project because so many other students were asking him for help. He ran around the classroom answering questions, debugging code, and making suggestions. His professionalism and encouragement when working with his peers were admirable. This type of student receives so much intrinsic joy from learning, it's impossible for teachers not to notice. That is why this award can go to none other than Rylan Foy.
Please welcome to the podium Mr. John Doyle to present the Ann Capel Citizenship and Service Award.
I truly do believe that the word no doesn't exist in this young woman's vocabulary. You could often find her working on sets or props during her lunch, study halls, late into the night. She's given up weekends, put in long days for weeks at a time. She's taken criticism, often undeserved, with grace. Kind, soft-spoken, patient, dedicated. She has the unique ability to work with a wide range of ages and personalities. These qualities have served her well because she has worked with actors and directors of diverse ages and temperaments on every staged show for all 3 divisions her entire upper school career. And her commitment to Ranney community doesn't stop there. As an accomplished photographer, she's worked on projects for the Fine Arts Department, Yearbook, Performing Arts, and National Art Honor Society. As a lower school intern, she worked with and assisted the teacher with lessons and projects in the classroom. She holds positions of leadership as yearbook editor and co-president of the International Thespian Society. Outside of Ranney, she's been a consistent volunteer for The Barn, the poorest of the poor organization sponsored by Delicious Orchards, where she has organized and packed food for families in need. She, within a partnership, created APAC players at the Axelrod Performing Arts Center with the goal of producing community theater that was completely directed, produced, designed, and performed by teens. That experience led her to develop of creative outlets, Teen Theater Productions. Always smiling, always helpful, always there for you. Hers is a presence that will be truly missed next year while she goes off to Muhlenberg College. It is with deep fondness and pride that I present the Ann Capel Citizenship Service Award to Amanda Serapica.
Please welcome to the podium Mrs. Maura Soriel to present the Robert Paulus Leadership and Perseverance Award.
When reflecting on his tragic horse accident that left him paralyzed, Superman actor Christopher Reeve states, "I believe that it's what you do after a disaster that can give it meaning. All too often, human nature tends to pull us to look at setbacks as dead ends, but people like Superman demonstrate a resilience that makes them bounce back. The recipient of this award exemplifies someone who bounced back and pressed forward with purpose, passion, and a conviction to use every circumstance, not only to learn and grow, but also to serve others." I first met this student in the summer of 2015. As a talented equestrian competitor, they were committed to accessing resources to help them remain committed to their academics alongside their travels for competitions. They proved to be an excellent communicator and self-advocate, always expecting the best from themselves, regardless of the situation. At the beginning of their junior year, this student underwent surgery that left them in chronic pain and discomfort. Though they continued to wear their beautiful smile, they suffered silently in pain. With the unwavering support of their family, they chose to transform adversity into opportunity. They secured wonderful internships with exceptional medical professionals and developed partnerships with some of the doctors involved in their own pain management. The heart of this student is other-focused. It was not enough for them to seek to understand the reasons for their own suffering, but they committed themselves to create a culture of empathy for others who are also hurting. When I had a chance to visit their family farm and animal rescue haven last summer, this student talked with me about their vision for Beneath the Surface, a student organization dedicated to raising awareness and empathy for those who are hurting. It is a group that looks to raise awareness about those who are struggling with an invisible illness. With this student's leadership, Beneath the Surface has contributed meaningfully to Ranney and to our local community. Some of the greatest life skills include learning to bend, but not break, to face fear with courage and a positive spirit, to respond to ignorance without judgment, while projecting love and humility to all. This student embodies these qualities and much more. It is my distinct privilege to present the Robert Paulus Leadership and Perseverance Award to Carly Tarosa.
It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Mrs. Laura Goodrow and Dr. Nicole Martone, who will present the Margaret Mann Awards.
The first requirement of the recipient of the Margaret Mann Award is that the student must have done life at Ranney and have made a personal commitment to be a vital part of the Ranney community. This student exemplifies our mission statement of leading honorably, thinking creatively, and contributing meaningfully. I have known this student since I first came to Ranney 7 years ago, and even then it was evident she was someone special, someone who truly cared about her classmates and her teachers. While in upper school, she has devoted her time to numerous projects, including flyers for student activities that actually increase student participation because they were designed with that purpose in mind. Our Panther Pride t-shirt worn by every student at athletic events. Charlotte's Dance for a Chance. She designed the logo, the t-shirt, and the advertisement brochures. Yearbook covers and layouts. Visuals for Creative Outlets, a production company led by 2 of her classmates. Mr. Sullivan has stated that without question, she has been the most talented designer he's encountered at Ranney. Not just because of her creative talent, but her ability to work with others and make their vision a reality, not hers. This year, she volunteered her graphic design expertise to any senior who wanted help with their senior tile. And she suggested that a poster be made of all the tiles so it could be included in the Ranney Senior Basket given to the students the other night. This student's contributions go far beyond what is mentioned here. It is just who she is. If she can lighten someone's load, bring a smile to their face, or help them recognize their own strengths when they are experiencing a problem, she is all in. It is my extreme pleasure and honor to present the Margaret Mann Award to Abby Granata.
When the upper school faculty selects a recipient of the Margaret Mann Award, we think about the qualities this student must embody. As the description states, this award goes to a Ranney lifer who not only does well academically, but who displays citizenship, kindness, and care to others every day. I have had the pleasure of working with this student in several capacities over the years. As a student, she worked diligently, read voraciously, and helped her peers understand the material whenever they needed a friend. As an advisee, she welcomed students who were new to the school, adhered to the community standards, and created a sense of home in the room just by being herself. She has devoted much of her time to Ranney to diversity, advocacy, and education, and ended her career with a capstone honoring those who stood for what is right and fair. Although I have joked that her time as president of Diversity Club has left her drunk with power, I mean that she's a true leader who guides others with humility and grace. When I go into my sent mail folder, most of my emails to her start with the words, "Thank you." You might have seen her winning $3,000 in blackjack at Semi earlier this year, buzzing around the halls with her dry erase board. I will miss all of these things about her and more. Congratulations, Anisha Gupta.
It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Mrs. Neela Boudet to present the Lawrence S. Sykoff Award.
And I don't need my readers. The great philosopher Plato said, "He who is only an athlete is too crude, too vulgar, too much a savage. He or she who is only a scholar is too soft." The ideal citizen is the scholar-athlete, a man or woman of thought and action. One of the things I love about being an athletic trainer is getting to know my athletes, not just when they are injured, and there were injuries. Working in an academic institution allows me to have conversations not just about sports. This athlete and I often discussed her day, school, music, colleges, and books. And more important subjects like prom, food, restaurants, and of course, the athletic training room rules. Many soon-to-be graduates around the country are student athletes. Many are multi-sport athletes, but few are the true scholar athletes to which Plato was referring. One willing to make the sacrifices and go above and beyond expectations. Add in performing arts and community service, and this student is a true Renaissance person. Accolades include 11 varsity letters, a 5-time captain, 4 National Honor Societies, volunteerism, a stellar GPA, and too many clubs to mention. To be such a well-rounded person, she possesses focus and motivation, and she motivates those around her. She possesses curiosity and a willingness to explore and try new things, like a new sport her senior year. I think Plato would approve. Her emotions, work ethic, laughter, and tears are contagious. Ranney School will miss her in the classroom, on the court, on the stage, on the field, and in the pit. But mostly, I will miss her in the athletic training room. The student has gotten me on stage twice. Once to proudly court her for National Honor Society, and now to present her with this deserving award. I am pleased to announce this year's recipient of the Lawrence S. Sykoff Award to Allison Sobieski.
Please welcome to the podium Ms. Kate Greenberg, who will present the Ranney School Leadership Award.
There comes a time in the life of a student when they go from learning about the world to imagining what that world could be. Sometimes as teachers, we are fortunate enough to see that growth. Sometimes as a community, we benefit from it as well. In this case, this student took each leadership position they held and saw an opportunity to make that organization, that team, and our school a better place. This student is a 3-season athlete and one of the captains of lacrosse team. Held the vice presidency of their class council for 2 years, was vice president of student council, and a peer mentor. But it is in the areas of diversity and women's studies that this student has left an indelible mark. Ms. Curry remarks that they are one of the most valuable members of Diversity Club. This student is always insightful in their self-examination and sensitive in sharing their opinions. Their experience with other groups, such as women's studies, has helped them achieve a much more profound understanding of intersectionality in our discussions of race, class, and gender. This student was described succinctly by Mr. Felter as whip-smart and strong-willed. If it is possible to speak truth to power and soften the blow, this is a skill this student leader has. Looking beyond her own time at Ranney and looking to build a future for the causes she believes in, she has worked hard to mentor and encourage younger students to build on the work already accomplished. She quadrupled the size of women's studies during her tenure. She doesn't ask anything from anyone she isn't willing to do herself. She is both demanding and kind, encouraging but constructively critical. She establishes high expectations for herself and those around her. As a result, the slate of new officers in women's studies told her they want to make her proud. Sounds like a superhero? Is it any surprise that her capstone was about Wonder Woman? Well, this student's superpower is her patient, passionate, inspiring leadership, and I am enormously proud to present the Ranney School Leadership Award to Gabriella Snyder.
It is a distinct honor at this time to introduce this year's valedictorian. I would like to quote some of his teachers who all share incredible approbation for him and celebrate what he brought to their classrooms and Ranney. His Calculus BC teacher, Mr. Picarillo, writes, "I have been teaching for 40 years. He is one of the top 5 students I have ever encountered in my career." Dr. Martone, his English teacher for 3 years, states that our valedictorian grew in his ability to take risks, but not out of a sense of fear, out of a deeply rooted humility. Yes, our valedictorian is an academic at heart, but he is also a leader. He has served on our student council for several years, adding a depth of thought to each meeting he attends, and just as importantly, a clear sense that he truly listens to the ideas of others. I can say this from personal experience in meetings I myself have attended with him. His gaze reassured me that he was hearing what I and other attendees were saying, and his contemplative disposition showed that he was truly processing what was being said in the meeting. By all accounts, he is able to take in the viewpoints of others, process them carefully, and be willing to draw new conclusions. These are the signs and markers of great intellectuals. It's also worth noting that our valedictorian is a lifer and the son of a Ranney graduate. So his family's dedication to Ranney is unquestionable. They are a family known to value a life of the mind and of honorable action. Their son has clearly devoted himself to carrying that baton, doing significant community service at the Jersey Shore Emergency Room, and serving as a camp counselor at Ranney's summer camp. Capping off academic prowess and honorable leadership, this young man works hard outside of school as well. He took a job at Six Flags Great Adventure as a roller coaster attendant, and as his counselor, Dr. Akruko, notes, there's little doubt that he was earning a little money while also thinking about the application of STEAM skills he'd learned in Ranney's science curriculum. We have no doubt that this year's valedictorian is prepared for both college and the great and vast unknown of the world at large, because many of us know that he is always equipped with at least 3 mechanical pencils, even for a 5-question quiz. Something tells me that right now, however, he's processing this idea and reconsidering if it should indeed be 3 pencils or 5, 1 for each question on the quiz. I also have no doubt that should all but one of these pencils break, he'd be the first to lend it to a classmate, because above all else, he chooses to do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage and congratulating him on this fine honor, a smart, hardworking, well-prepared, dedicated, and most importantly, humble and honorable young man, Ankur Govil.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. Good afternoon, friends, faculty, Board of Trustees, administration, parents, and the class of 2018. I am humbled and honored to be speaking to you at this year's commencement ceremony. I wanted to begin by expressing my gratitude to a few of those sitting in the audience today. Thank you, Mrs. Goodrow, for your unwavering support, not just throughout high school, but ever since 6th grade. You have been a big part of my life and have been a great advisor. Thank you, Dr. Akruko, for making the daunting college process easier and for your guidance over these past few years. And finally, my family. Thank you to my extended family for making the journey here and showering me with your endless amounts of love and support. And of course, thank you to my immediate family, Mom, Dad, Dadiji, and Ankush. Without you, I would not be who I am today, and I would not be up here speaking to all of you. As I look into the audience, I see many different emotions displayed on people's faces. Our parents look up at us with tears in their eyes, with happiness, and beam with pride that we have completed our high school careers. My fellow classmates look back up at them with sheer confusion as to how quickly the time has gone by. But at the same time, they look at our families with expressions that ensure to them that we are ready for the challenges that the real world has in store for us. And the faculty members look up at us with content knowing that they have given us the tools to succeed in college and beyond. And now, my fellow graduates, I want to ask you if you remember how it all started. Although it may only seem like yesterday, 1,352 days ago, we began a remarkable journey that symbolized a new beginning, our freshman retreat to Frost Valley. This was the first time we joined together as a class in the woods of upstate New York to form bonds that we have since built upon over the past 4 years. And just yesterday, we enjoyed our final journey together as a class and celebrated many years of friendship and hard work. Through 4 years, we have struggled and we have had times of spectacular failure, but we have also had times of great success and have learned to use setbacks as motivation to respond to a difficult situation. We have achieved a milestone together on this day. It is true that we have already accomplished a great deal, whether it was in the classroom acing Mr. Neal's impossible physics tests, or outside the classroom displaying our innumerable talents in art shows, on playing fields, and in performance halls. Yes, it is true that this is an accomplished group of individuals with talents and intellect that will serve as assets in college and beyond. However, these outstanding young men and women you see before you today should be most celebrated for their outstanding character and values. Everyone in this graduating class is a superstar. Despite achieving this great accomplishment, however, this is merely the beginning for us. Winston Churchill once said, "Now this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." This ceremony is a commencement for what lies ahead in our futures. It marks the end of our childhood, which is now in the rearview mirror, but also marks the dawn of a new beginning, our lives as adults. This is the part of life which is two things all at once. It is gratifying because now we are independent. We make decisions about the way in which we choose to lead our lives. However, it is also terrifying. Our old support systems are now gone, so we need to make a new one. Our parents, teachers, and faculty were our invisible safety net, and now we leave that safety to venture into the real world on our own, using what we have learned and putting it into practice. While the road ahead may be uncertain, I am confident that we as a class are capable of making our own decisions to shape our very bright futures. Because, my fellow classmates, the future is indeed bright for us. This is an exciting time of great innovation and discovery. In this age, breakthroughs in the arts, the sciences, medicine, and technology are commonplace. It seems as though the world cannot evolve fast enough to keep up. The best part of all of this is that we are about to add to it. Every graduate sitting before you here today is more than capable of contributing to this wave of change. Therefore, I urge each and every one of you to explore your passions deeply over the next 4 years in college. Learn about what excites you and what makes you happy, and pursue it. Research has found that purpose-driven people are 4 times more likely to be engaged at work, be 50% more likely to become a leader, and have a 64% higher level of career satisfaction. They are also likely to earn a higher income and are likely to live 7 years longer. Think about the positive impact you want to create and create it. Understand your role in shaping your future and shape it. Have a clear idea of the kind of difference you want to make and make it. And now for my parting words to the class of 2018. We are going to be saying our final goodbyes to one another soon. The next time we all join together as a class again someday, we will each be different, molded by our experiences into fine men and women. Who knows who will still be in touch with whom and who will still be friends. However, one thing is for certain. We have shared the same road for the same journey, and now it has led us here. So, to quote Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Dr. Griffith and Dr. Torpy, will you please join me at the podium? Dr. Griffith, Dr. Torpy, and the Board of Trustees, It is my pleasure to inform you that each of the 84 students beside you have successfully completed the 4-year course of study in Ranney's upper school and have fulfilled the comprehensive and rigorous graduation requirements established by our Board of Trustees. With the unanimous and confident recommendation of the upper school faculty and administration, I would like to recommend that each of the students in front of you be conferred a diploma from the Ranney School.
On behalf of the administration and Board of Trustees, we accept your recommendation.
Will Mr. Matarasso please step forward to assist in the presenting of diplomas? Members of the class of 2018, it is our honor and privilege to begin the process of conferring your diplomas. When your name is called, please come up to the stage, receive your diploma from Dr. Griffith, and accept the congratulations of our board president, Dr. Torpy. Let me note that it is a tradition at Ranney School that whenever the child of a member of the Board of Trustees, a current administrator, or a faculty member, or an alumnus is graduating, we invite that parent onto the stage to assist with the conferring of the diploma. Thus, for Aiden Flynn, I will ask his mother, lower school teacher Lynn, to join us on stage. For Ankur Goval, I will invite his father, Niraj, Ranney class of 1985, to the stage. For Ryan Pongrak, I will ask his mother, Laura, chair of the math department, to join us. For Kieran Shaw, I will ask his mother, Kiara, upper school faculty member, to join us. For Allison Sobieski, I will ask her mother, Dorothy, the performing arts department chair, to join us. And for Jack Torpy, we'll have Dr. Torpy, our board chair, step forward. Seniors, don't forget to look at the camera and smile. Let us begin. Selma Abdelberry. Xavier Akuovo. Isabella Arej. Ava Adonacio. Dylan Barbanel. Omran Bazarbashi. Catherine Bibalori. Madeline Page Blumenkrantz. Maxwell Bonavento. Abigail Boyan. Michael Oliver Bussey. Rachel Lauren Chalnick. Madison L. Chamas. Matthew Chang. Kayla Ireland Conley. Victoria Catherine Cuccinello. Jasmine Dave. Andrew Stephen Denton. Lily Sloan Elkwood. Jacqueline A. Erler. William Mark Fabricant. David Kai Flowers. Will Mrs. Flynn please join us on stage? Aiden Flynn. Rylan David Foy. Sylvia Fragali. Katie Lynn Gentile. Christopher William Glenn. Alexander Hamilton Godek. Nicole Maya Goldward. Shannon Grace Gorman. Would Dr. Goebel please join us on stage? Encore Goval. Abigail Rose Granada. Marcus Wallace Greenstein. Jacob Pierce Greller. Anisha Gupta. Jacob Connor Gus. Kong King Hee. Harper Emmy Herman. Sawyer Jackson Howard. Alia Hotsayan. Gabriel Ilumuanya. Lexi Yeager. Paul Valdemar Jensen III. Gerald Johnson. Katie Teresa Uhas. Emily Ann Kaczynski. Zachary Brett Carlin. Charlotte Jane Kay. Sarah Ann Killian. Joseph David Maxwell Carrillos. Laura Elizabeth Lehrfeld. Ryan Joseph Lubin. Carmine Mastrocostas. Leonidas Mastrocostas. Madison Faye Maggette. Kenneth Moore III. Brooke Ann Nadler. Jin Nan. Miles Natanson. Emma Kate Nisbet. Will Mrs. Pongrak please join us at the podium? Ryan David Pongrak. Luke Shannon Price. Jessica Lindsay Probst. Emily Salustio. Toby Maxim Savage. Caitlin Serpico. Amanda Marie Sarapica. Would Mrs. Shaw please come up to the stage? Kieran S. Shaw. Veronica Vincelli Shaw. Sabrina Sadiq. Varun Sakan. Emily Catherine Silman. Gabriella Snyder. Will Dr. Sobieski please join us at the podium? Allison Sobieski. Michael Stavola. Sabrina Alexis Stott. Jonathan Taffin. Carly M. Tarosa. Brandon James Thomas. Dr. Torpy. Jack Andrew Torpy. John Michael Winkertzon. Yonghao Wu. Wei Zhu. Michael Zhang. Class of 2018, please rise. Dr. Torpy, Board of Trustees, faculty, parents, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you for the very first time the graduates of Ranney School's class of 2018. Will the faculty please stay standing? Graduates, please take this moment to thank the teachers who helped you achieve this moment with a round of applause. Everyone may be seated. And at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Adam Matarasso to the stage for his closing remarks.
Graduation from high school signifies the closing of a chapter in one's life. It represents the end of an era and the completion of childhood. And while one looks ahead with anticipation to the next step so full of promise, the achieved milestone begs one to pause a moment, to take a look back, and to assess the esteemed accomplishment. Ranney School graduates realize much. Not only do they pass tests and make the grades, they attain a level of education beyond what is taught in books. Their experience at Ranney School forms a lasting impact. They discover individual passions, experience personal growth, make lifelong friendships, attain academic excellence, awaken the intellectual curiosity within, and cultivate a lasting bond with the school. Congratulations, class of 2018 graduates. Never forget your home here at Ranney. We hope to welcome you back to our campus soon and learn about your new adventures. Thank you.